Yesterday afternoon, I received a text message from a friend that said, in part, hang in there. Don't let them destroy all the good things that you've done for the Madison County Sheriff's Office and the community. I've been a law enforcement officer for 42 years, spending the last 36 years here in Madison County with the Sheriff's Office. I began my employment with the Sheriff's Office in 1977 as a deputy. In 1982, I was promoted to sergeant in the patrol division, and later that same year I was reassigned to the criminal investigations division. I was first elected sheriff in Madison County in 1994. I was reelected and ran unopposed again in 1998. I was reelected in 2002. And in that year, 2002, I was elected by my peers to serve as president of the Tennessee Sheriff's Association. Again, I was reelected in 2006 and 2010 for a fifth term. Under my leadership, the Sheriff's Office, I think, has made some positive changes. In 1998, we built the J. Alexander Leach Criminal Justice Complex after over 20 years of debating the proposal of building a new jail. During that process, we hired over 100 officers to be assigned to corrections in the jail. Under my leadership, we increased court security to better protect our courts and our buildings. We were the first, I was one of the first to reassign school resource officers to the Madison County school system. Increased the staffing in the criminal investigations division. We created a property crimes unit along with a violent crimes unit. I was also instrumental in increasing the staffing in the Metro Narcotics Division. Also increased the staffing in the Patrol Division in order to better serve this community. I admit I made some bad personal decisions, and they were just that, personal. Several weeks ago, and this is significant, even prior to the indictment being handed down on yesterday, I sat down with my family and made some decisions that I thought was in the best interest of all involved. And I had decided at that time, and I've shared that with some close friends, is not to seek a sixth term. It's certainly been an honor and it's been a pleasure in serving the citizens of Jackson, Madison County, and as well as the state of Tennessee. And at this time, I will turn the interview over to my attorney, Mark Donahoe.
Questions from anybody?
Does this mean that you are stepping down, Sheriff? Is that what?
No, I'm not. I'm not stepping down. I was elected to serve the citizens of Madison County, as I mentioned, on my fifth term, and the fifth term doesn't end until August 31st.
But it's something that you've talked about with your family, or?
I have not considered resigning with my family, nor anyone else. Let's bear in mind that, and counsel will address that, I've not been found guilty of anything, and I've said on one other occasion, the only entity that's found me guilty is the media. Mark?
Questions? Kelly?
Yeah, the commission has asked for you to resign, for the sheriff to resign, and they've even begun the ouster process. So this is going to be a long, drawn-out process that could take 3 to 6 months. If you're not seeking re-election, some may argue, why not go ahead and resign?
Well, that's a decision that the sheriff has to make personally at some time. If it's right for him to do that, then it's right for him to do that, but it's not right for him to do it today.
And let me make one other observation. You're using the term, and I think me and someone in the media debated the issue of retiring versus resigning. I have no intentions of resigning.
Does that mean that you might consider a retirement as opposed to a resignation?
Don't care to comment on that at this time.
Mark, I'd like for you to clarify a little bit. The sheriff has indicated that he feels that he has not been found guilty except by the media. Could you elaborate a little bit on that? How has the media passed judgment other than just reporting what we've been given?
Well, the system assumes that you're not guilty until you're proven guilty in a court. And I think that as I've said many times before, we need to let the process play a little bit. All we're hearing at this point is one side and one-sided issues. And, you know, without our defense being presented in court to a jury, allowing them to make a decision, it's very, very difficult to get a fair review in the public. And it's designed that way. The system's designed to do that, and that's fine. And we don't mind, and we look forward to being able to present our side at the correct time. So it's more that you're only hearing one side of it, and as I've said before, wait. Don't make a decision now. Let's hear everything first, then make a decision.
But do you feel that the media has unfairly passed judgment? I mean, from reports and being a part of the media, and from reports that I've seen, whether it be TV, radio, or whatever, press, that basically have just said what has been made, the facts have been made available to them, from the investigation to, and now the grand jury indictment reporting the facts. The only place I've seen any skewing basically is with Facebook. I mean, obviously, and that's citizens that have an opinion one way or the other.
And I might chime in on that,
Sure.
Mark, if you don't mind. You know, the media now, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but now the media uses Facebook. Your station does,
Sure.
the other station does, and people generally comment on the comments that the media makes. So I think that's where you would draw the conclusion in so many cases. But again, just as counsel has mentioned, and as I've mentioned, I spent many years in the criminal investigation division prior to being elected sheriff, and has presented many cases to the Madison County grand jury. So I understand how the process works. And I would agree with counsel, when you go into a grand jury room, you only hear one side of the story. And bear in mind, again, I've supported and still support this criminal justice system here some 42 years later, is that I've always said that a person is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, beyond a reasonable doubt, until a moral certainty. And I still stand firm with that belief. Okay. That's all that I have, unless you have something else, Mark.